The new statistic is staggering. 1 in 5 American women are choosing not to have children. The idea of none is enough has become a national debate. Joining me this morning is Kristen Tetzi, author of No Children, No Guilt, which she wrote under a pseudonym. She's also a child-free woman herself. Good morning, Kristen. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right, you wrote a book on this topic, but curious as to why you wrote it under a pseudonym. Were you concerned about backlash, or there are other reasons?
No, I've never really been too afraid of speaking my mind. I had a novel out at the time called Pretty Much True, and they always say branding is very important, so I just created this name that I could isolate, from my fiction writing.
Okay, let's talk about this topic. New statistics are showing that women are choosing not to have children, and the choice is really rising among all racial groups. This was actually the cover of a recent Time magazine cover story. I guess my first question is, why is the pressure still there for women to have children? And really, the pressure is on women, not really men.
I sort of think it's inertia. I think we don't know any better as a society than to expect women to have children. There's a book by Laura Carroll called The Baby Matrix, and she does a whole lot of research about the pronatalist cultures and why we started trying to convince people to have children. I think it's primarily women because it's probably the most unpleasant for us of either gender, because we're the ones who do all the pre and post work, traditionally.
Yeah.
I don't quite know why no one cares whether men have children.
Now, you want to tell women that it's okay to choose not to have children. It's an option. That's what we want to get the message across.
Yes. There's too much focus actually on why women don't want children. Are they selfish? Are they narcissistic? Are they this? Are they that? And none of that really matters. What matters is that women know they have the option whether or not to have kids, because the last thing you want is a bunch of people who just think I'm supposed to have children, having children and not being happy with that choice, especially when just under less than half of all pregnancies are unintended, and the studies indicate that unintended pregnancy is one of the leading causes of abuse and neglect.
So we really need to have the focus on women who may not be ready, or, really may not be necessarily a good parent.
Well, or who just maybe think that their only option is to have children, because I think that puts a lot of pressure on you. There's a woman who communicated with me through my website who said that she had stopped talking about all things child-free because it just became very tiring. But then she met a young woman who was pretty depressed about the thought of getting married to this man she loved a lot. And she was so depressed because she thought she had to have kids. She didn't know it was an option.
No, you don't have children. Do you think it's a decision you will one day regret? Is it something you always knew, that you didn't want to have children?
I think the only choices we regret are the ones that we make without wanting to make it. If I were someone who wanted children and I married someone who didn't, I might regret making that choice and not having children. But because I don't want them, I don't see regretting not wanting them, I guess. No.
Now, you write a blog on this.
Yes.
What are some of the things you're hearing from people who weigh in?
A lot of what I'm hearing is thank you, because they feel less crazy, they feel less alone, they feel less weird for not wanting children. If you're brought up thinking that that's what you're supposed to want and that's the only natural course for you, not wanting it can make you feel, in addition to feeling pressured, it can make you feel like all these bad things that people feel for some reason perfectly comfortable calling you.
It's become an interesting national and societal debate, for sure. Okay, Kristen, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Well, coming up after the break, we have more to come. Darren will be back with a look at your Sunday forecast. But first, here's what's coming up this morning on Weekend Today.